I was sitting here contemplating how I was going to talk about this episode. But then I realized the camera was already rolling.
Okay. Sorry I had to do that because this freaking episode, man. Alright. How's everyone doing today, guys? My name is Coz, and welcome to Amphibia, episode 29A, Little Frogtown. You know, it wasn't until the end of the episode where I'm like, oh my god, they did that. Because, so many layers to that title, but it's like you have to go through the episode to realize what they were talking about. So, okay, so I think at this point it's like anytime you see Anne watching a movie on her phone, that's gonna be the theme of the episode. We had the one with Wally, where it's like at the beginning it was the movie about the ballerina who wanted to do hip hop and had to confess to her mother, and the mother accepted that and all that. This one, it's a freaking noir. It's a freaking crime detective noir, and I'm like, okay, who's gonna be the freaking? And then the second they had Hop talk about like, oh, Sal's an old friend of mine. Look at this, and his restaurant's right there, and the restaurant is like condemned in a complete shambles. I'm like, okay, yeah, Hop-Pop's gonna become the freaking. And yeah, this is just it's another filler episode in per se, but honest to God, it's so funny. Because one, it's a Hop-Pop episode, and it really solely is a Hop-Pop episode. I mean, we do cut back to Anne, Sprig, and Polly, who I'll admit their story is pretty funny too, but it doesn't go in the way I was expecting. In fact, I thought it kind of dampened Anne's character, but okay, so the whole thing starts when Hop Hop wanted to take the family to this restaurant that Sal Sandwiches, because Sal is an old friend of Hop Hop who decided to go to Newtopia to try and make it big as a sandwich shop. So Hop Hop said he promised Sal if he ever was in Newtopia, he would come and visit. So that's exactly what he was gonna do. But the kids, they don't want to go to some old sandwich shop. They want to go to the cool arcade that's right next door. So Hop Hop grudgingly lets him go to the arcade, and he goes into the restaurant, and like I said before, it's pretty much abandoned. So Hop Hop, after watching part of the crime noir that Anne was watching before they got there, is immediately sucked into all that. And I love how the episode plays with it, because you have the bar, you have the black bars, you have the black and white, you have the narrator, you have Hop Pop's facial expressions throughout. I love how even when they never cut that, and when every time you're on a Hop Pop throughout this episode, it's really him just like that until the very end when he's back with the kids. And even when the whole thing even when he cracks the case, it doesn't go back to normal color. It sticks with the black and whites, which I found very funny. And also I love the narration too, because it's Hop Pop's narration, but I love it when anytime Hop Pop himself in the scene actually starts talking, like the narrator is like, "Hey, what was that? Hey, you're interrupting me. Oh, sorry about that." And I love even like the narrator is going pretty dark in some areas. Hop Pop just like interrupts. Is like, I think isn't that a little too far? I mean, it is. I mean. And so, if you're wondering what the crime exactly was, like obviously Hop Pop said he knows Sal enough to know, like, so he goes into the shop, finds it's a wreck, notices that the safe behind one of Sal's pictures is open, and he realizes that, or he thinks Sal's secret sauce recipe was stolen, and so Hop Pop explain or narrates, I should say, that Sal loved his family. Sal worked like the family recipe for Sal's sauce was close to him, and that he wouldn't dare give it up. Like he wouldn't dare give it to anyone for a buck. So Hop Hop theorizes that someone must have broken in and stole Sal's sauce recipe to make of their own, and it leads into a gala where the sauce is actually being used. So Hop Hop tries to figure out where the source is, and you have all your different noir cliches. I mean, you obviously have you have a gala, you have performers, you have Hop Hop interrogating, you have Hop Hop disguising himself as some people, and I love some of the, yeah, it's so stupid. And yeah, so all the while, Anne, Sprig, and Polly are waiting in line for the arcade. And yeah, it's like a club. It's basically like your stereotypical club, like, hey, you gotta wait in line. So, and it seems like everything's gonna go fine until a kid cuts in front of Anne. Yeah, we're doing this. So I like how Anne goes pretty much. Anne literally goes ballistic while Sprig and Polly are like, don't you want to just let this slide? I mean, so yeah, I mean, I get why Anne was mad, and a part of me was wondering, yeah, okay, but I mean, on the one hand, it's a kid. On the other hand, he did cut in front of her. But I was like, you know what? If it's just that one kid, fine, let it slide. I mean, if it was like a group of people or like just some grown-up jerk, then yeah, I'd probably have a problem with it. But I mean, if it's a kid, yeah, let it slide. If it's one kid, let it slide. And later on in the episode, they're literally at the entrance, and the kid goes in front of them, and the kid then like motions his friends, hey guys, come on. And so that's when Anne snaps, like saying like, oh no, that's not how this works. You don't just cut in front of me and then have other people cut in front of me. And then the kid's like, well, granted, the kid acted like a snob. He's like, I was just saving a spot for my friends. Like, literally, that's how he delivered the line. And so Anne's like, oh no, are we not gonna address the injustice that just, she does go a little bit dark, and it's like, the kid's like, what are even you supposed to be? And Anne's like, yeah, what am I supposed to be? For all you know, I could be a monster that eats little children. And it's like her teeth go like razor sharp, and yeah, it kind of scares it's scary, and it scares the kid. And eventually Anne like backtracks, and she's like, oh no, what did I do? And she even ends up getting tasered, which I was like, social commentary? I was like, it's not looking good. Like, she's like, there was a scene, like, they do cut back to her, like, she's being held back by a guard, and the other guard has a taser, and she's like, and they're like, ma'am, please calm down. And they're like, Anne's like, oh yeah, you wouldn't possibly. Okay, let's go back to the crime noir. So Hop Hop at the gala, he, like I said, he disguised himself as a waiter, but he immediately got caught. I did like this. He took out a good group of guards, except for the Russian chef, which I really found funny. The Russian chef, who was a toad, I'm pretty sure. I love how he comes in and he's just, or was it a newt? Ah, crap. Basically, this Russian chef, who's like a colossal dude, is like, he corners Hop Hop at first, and it seems like, oh no, he's caught, but then he like puts a hairnet on him. He's like health code violation, and so Hop Hop has to, Hop Hop's like, okay, he's in the clear, but then the waiter comes in naked, literally in his underwear. He's like, that's him, that's the one who knocked me out and stole my clothes. So then, like I said, Hop Hop takes out most of the guards except the chef, who literally just bear hugs him and throws him out. And Hop Hop notices in the dumpster that in there he finds a sauce can, which leads to the factory where it came from. So Hop Hop, still thinking that someone stole Sal's sauce recipe, goes into the factory, and I love this. He's sneaking around, and one of the guards like notices him, and he's just like, shh. And then the guard's like, okay. But then he continues moving, and then he eventually goes onto the catwalk over these boiling hot area, you know, like, so, and then a guard shows up, and Hop Hop's like, he was coming in fast. But and this is where the narrator, like, the jokes come in, because the narrator is like, little did he know, I was highly skilled. And then Hop Hop, like, really is like, wait, am I? It's so funny. It does end with a guy falling in one of the vats. So there's that. It does get dark. But it turns out that, so Hop Hop eventually, no, he does get caught, and so he's taken up to the office where the man behind it all is, and turns out it's Sal. And a part of me was like, is this part of the joke, or is this literally the character? Because it goes full on Godfather. This dude, Sal, he's got the mustache, he's got the accent. He's like, Habadiah, how are you, my old friend? He's like, I mean, he's not like full on Godfather with like, you come to my daughter's what? You come to me on the day of my daughter's marriage. It's not like full on that, like, it's like, it is like Italian mobster. He's like, and so Sal explains that the business wasn't going so hot, and so he realized that if he wanted to succeed, he needed to focus solely on his family's secret sauce recipe rather than putting sauce between sandwiches. And I really like this lesson that he actually explains. He's like, if I stayed in the past, I never would have succeeded. But luckily, even though I changed with time, I still was able to hold on some of the stuff from the past. That is literally a huge lesson nowadays, because there are a lot of things of the past, like history, family history especially, where we try to hold on to it. We're like, no, like many different things. Like, obviously, change is a very scary thing, but it's part of life. If we try to hold on to things from the past and never try to change, never try to adapt, never try to work with what we have now, then we're going to be left behind, in a way. But at the same time, we shouldn't just solely let everything from the past go, because there are things from the past that we have to hold on to. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of having stuff from the past if we're just going to let it go? Granted, there are things in the past that should be left in the past, a lot of bad things, but at the same time, there are things that we can learn from the past. So it is a cool lesson that he represents with that. And I like how even at the end he's like, yeah, I mean, I have this business, but at the end of the day, this is literally something you can just put between bread. And it's like, yeah. And I like that. And again, it's a really nice lesson, and I really am glad that, I mean, it's done in a rather ridiculous way, in my opinion, doing this in the crime noir, but it stuck. It definitely, it was a unique way to give that lesson. So I'm glad. I mean, this is one of my favorite episodes so far this season. I mean, obviously because of how funny it was, how big of a satire it was, and just the lesson in general. Granted, it does end with Hop Hop having to bail because they discover one of the guys in the vat. They're like, we just discovered one of our guys in the vat, and Sal's like, what? And then Hop Hop was like, well, gotta go. And then, like I said, he goes back to the kids, and that's when the color comes back, and Anne is basically just fried. And she's like, I got no regrets. maybe. And and then we have this little weird bit at the end where Hop Hop, it like he can't really say he talks at first, but then when they ask him like his about his tail, then we go to the narrator Hop Hop, and he's like they had no idea how much of a tale I had to tell them. And then they cut back to the kids, and it's just like, Hop Hop, are you okay? And then the thing was, and then, so you think, okay, they're gonna cut there, but no, they don't. They actually keep going with the joke, and so it actually turns into like a mental like freak out, because it's like, oh no, I can't actually speak anything, and if you can hear me, I can't do anything with this. It's like he's stuck in the narrator voice instead of actually being able to talk to the kids, and like, unfortunately, and it just ends with that. It ends with that freak out. And it's like, and the kids are like, well, he's broken. Again, this is super funny. It's so stupid. And it's just, I mean, honestly, I was kind of hoping they were gonna be like, forget it, Hop Hop, it's Frogtown. Or like, I'm like, wow, Big Trouble in Little Frogtown? Big Trouble in Little Frog, Big Trouble. Again, that's kind of the joke of, that's the joke of the title, Big Trouble in Little China and Chinatown, because, forget it, it's Chinatown, or, yeah. Yeah, so, alright, well, that was, alright, sorry, I had to move this, I gotta move that, okay. Alright, let's keep moving it. I feel like, wait. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, so that was episode 29A, Little Frogtown. Definitely one of my favorite episodes of the season so far, because just the way they did it. Yeah, actually, I don't know why I haven't asked this yet, but everything up to everything up to the mid-season finale of season 2. What are your favorite episodes from all of those? So, because I just finished up episode 30B, Day at the Aquarium, just a couple of minutes ago, just an hour ago, I guess I should say. Yeah. So I just finished up Day at the Aquarium an hour ago. So tell me, if you guys want to tell me what your favorite episodes are prior to this, let me know, because I'm really interested to see what your guys' opinions are for some of these episodes. I mean, there are a lot of episodes that are story driven, that make sense, that are pretty big episodes, but there's a few where it's like, yeah, it's filler. It's not seemingly gonna come back, right? So, just saying. All right, with all that said, see you in the next one.